All right. Again, this is going to be part 3 of Luke Unchained. And we're going to go ahead and just go right back in. Okay. So again, I'm just trying to let us see. I want us to see everything on all the levels. The spiritual realm, when we're talking about the physical, and when we're talking about worldly things, and when we're talking about that which is in high places, right? So again, I mean, it's just a matter of how you look at it, and things that are being formed right before our eyes. We may be involved in some of these things, but again, I'm just asking you to use discernment, okay? Or a way of seeing things, because again, you can see where the real, see, when you start talking about finances, or you start talking about money, or you don't want to participate in that way, you will see a certain energy come out. Now, I'm not saying nothing towards it at all. We reading about this when we were reading in the book of Enoch. Not to say that this is exactly what it means, but the whole thing about, the rich man making it into heaven. It's even talking about the physical things and holding on to things. I'm just saying. When we talk about the spiritual aspect, it's okay to say, oh, nobody that's talking about the physical. Well, this fiat is physical, yet and still everybody talking about how we should be chasing after it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Maybe the ancestors knew something when they was dealing with conch shells and yes, 1 second. When they were dealing with shells and things and stuff when it was coming to trade. Okay. So again, let's just finish this up real quick. Okay. So it says a private person or whatever. So again, you just pay attention to what people be saying. You could hear. Okay. And again, some of us are not, I have no malice way of looking at any of this stuff right here, but the fact that a group of people is being mass manipulated and misled, that is a problem for me. Again, I told you guys before, we all have our little shortcomings, our little things, like it just said in there, in this passage is going to say something about with a little bit of wickedness or something like that or whatever. But we're sitting here dealing with a world that wicked are running in high places. So if they're looking down at you, you see what I'm saying? Who are they to say? You see what I'm saying? Okay, so it's just basically saying it don't benefit what they trying to do, and you not going along with the plan, so you gotta go. That's all. Okay, and that's why they want you to think that it's talking about women be quiet in church, because they knew one day we're gonna be waking up talking like this. Okay, why they didn't want you to be no so-called pastor? See, because most of us can't sit up there in front of everybody and act like something that, you see, we got to speak with that intuitive, that's something that we have, that's activated within us, that most of us can't sit there and you looking at it and saying, this don't mean that. You see, but then they say, oh, you're being your ego, or you're being like this. Nah, we're going to go back in 2 Corinthians. We're going to talk about how some people are given this certain ability or power or something to speak straight from God. So again, we can look at it however we want to look at it, right? So it says citizen's arrest 1. Okay, so again, let's keep going, because now I have to really go. So it says there's like a little reference to something here that says he is not a citizen who is not disposed to respect the laws and obey the civil magistrate. And he is certainly not a good citizen who does not wish to promote by every means in his power the welfare of the whole society of his fellow citizens. Adam Smith, Theory of Moral Sentiments. Okay, so again, I do kind of agree with that, but again, this is how this can quickly be used to make it into something else that will benefit the wicked and vilify the righteous. Okay, because again, how can we respect some of these things that are going on that we know are complete and total utter lies? So again, when it says this, we have to question who's doing these writings, because I was just reading something about speaking against government or something like that. So we have to figure out which one are we talking about. Are we talking about the one that's set up within the earth or within the people because the righteous are now supposedly in charge? Or are we talking about what is still there as the idol version of what it is that is not anymore? And so things that we're going to do are going to determine whether we get back into that, because we've been freed from that. We've been free from that mindset. We've been free from those ways. We have been lifted in a certain sense. We have been reborn in a certain sense. And so let's just think about it in these ways, right? So it says a citizen, a noun. The definition from WordNet is a native or naturalized. Now, we did a video on naturalized. You can go look that up. Citizens and things like that. So a naturalized member of the state, of a state or other political community. Okay. Again, these are certain groups and things that are being set up. Listen here. Okay. Same thing with certain individuals that came. Listen. Inhabitant of a city, a citizen collectively, status, rights, privileges, responsibilities, and nobody's saying we need to go tearing them down and anything like this, but we need to be heard. Again, because I think that some of these things in this voter right bill is to try to keep certain people in when they're not supposed to be, and certain people out like they want it to be. So I think it's 1019 that I want to go over. Okay. And in that bill, I think the number is like 117, and the section or whatever is 1019 that I want to go ahead and go over here, because some of these terms are concerning to me. Okay. But we'll do that after this video. Okay. So again, citizenship, status, rights, city, these are related terms. Okay. Okay, so I think that's it. I'm going to have to go now because I have to do a favor for somebody, but we'll just finish this part right here. And it is true that the citizens of the world are more clever in dishonesty. Again, so these particular citizens are more clever. And this is inhabitants of a city. Okay. And again, it makes me think also of certain energies that may be around certain people. Okay. In these times. Like, remember how we talk about how, some of these energies are just a little bit more older or wiser or a little bit more, advanced in something. And again, they are going to have certain people set up where they prop up in order to get you to think one way, and it looks so nice and good, but is the grass greener? Should that be something that we should be, because it's only a small percentage of people that are doing that. Most of the people are not. So we're setting up a new way of people that had a head start in a sense in building, so that now, do you see what I'm saying? You're going to have to be underneath again. And then are these people the people? Or have they been set up for other reasons? Than the godly, because it separates those people from the godly. Okay. But shall I tell you to act that way, to buy friendship through cheating? And it's a question mark. Will this ensure your entry into the everlasting home in heaven? So again, I don't know. This is making me think of like when Christ is supposed to reign forever. And I feel like they're going to try to set up a false Christ. I feel like that's what's going to be happening. I feel like somebody's going to try that. Or try to do something to slew or cut off the Christ so that they can have a reason to place someone else that's more bearable, because they're afraid of what Christ brought or is bringing to the table to cut. He didn't come here to play games, really. He came here to give it to you how it is. You see? And he's going to be looking at these things in awe, or he or she is going to be looking at these things in all ways. Not just this one specialty that somebody would be having something in. No, and they're not going to keep it to themselves. They're going to be open about this. It's going to be almost like this energy is going to be an open book. People are going to know things about him or her that you don't even know that they know. You understand what I'm saying? So it's a sense of something here. Okay. Will this ensure your entry into the everlasting home in heaven? And it says, no, for unless you are honest in small matters, you won't be in large ones. Okay. So again, this is just even like repentance or whatever is like a turning away from something, or just like even dodging certain things that are being brought into your life so that you can go ahead and move forward again. And I feel like that's the kind of energy that I've been sitting in for a minute, and I'm trying to figure out all the ways, right, of what it is really, and then who can you trust, and which way, like that is where I think things are, for a lot of us. Okay. And it says, if you cheat even a little, you won't be honest with greater responsibilities. And if you are untrustworthy about worldly wealth, okay, who will trust you with the true riches of heaven? Okay. So again, I'm trying to figure out what we're talking about with this worldly wealth, right? Because I'm thinking even materialistic, right? Because somebody can be broke and not be materialistic. They may just be someone that lacks want or need of a lot of things. And so they're okay with not having that much because they'd rather put their time into doing what's right or focusing on certain things like what some of us do when it comes to the word or healing or sharing, or I don't like teaching, but things like this. Okay. And so again, I have to rush. So with the true riches of heaven. And if you are not faithful with the other people's money, why should you be entrusted with the money of your own?